There are different definitions of money. Among them, we are going to study about the legal definition of money. Now, what do we mean by this legal definition of money? Directly speaking, money, according to legal definition, means money is what the law says it to be. This means that whatever type of commodity, whatever type of thing or anything which will be called as money, that the law proclaims it to be. That means whatever is the law of the land or country, according to that particular law, whichever thing is going to be called as money will act as money. Anything according to the law. And this money will be then accepted as the common measure of value. Means whatever type of goods and services are going to be produced, this money will be the common measure of value. It would be used to continue or carry forward the economic transactions or exchanges with the help of this money, which is going to be accepted by all. Because according to the law of the country, this particular commodity, this particular thing is going to be acting as money. Then it will be endowed with legal tender power. Because this is a legal money, so therefore it will be endowed with, it means it will be having the power which is called to be as legal tender power. And by legal we means law. Lawfully this thing is going to be accepted as money. Now in this legal definition of money only, you can see here legal tender money. What is this legal tender money actually? It means the money under the law of land or country. It is endowed with legal tender power. Means what do we mean by legal tender power? Means this money is going to have the legal power to discharge debts. This is having the power. If anyone has borrowed money, then the repayment can be done in this money only. This means this money is having the legal power. And whenever a creditor is going to give money to the debtor, then the creditor, whenever asks for his own money, then he cannot force the debtor to make payment to him, that is the creditor, in some other form of money. Means the debtor is going to repay back the loan with the same money, and the creditor cannot force him to repay the loan with some other form of money. And because it is lawfully being accepted, legally accepted by all and everyone in the whole country. It is also called fiat money. Now we call this legal tender money as a fiat money. Fiat means order of the government. That means it serves as a money, as directly saying as money on the order of the government. That is when that means fiat means order of the government. This money is going to be passed by the government, that it should be accepted as money. Because in the previous topic we have already seen or studied that previous in the past times there was a money which was having the face value and the intrinsic value equal to each other. That means whatever was the face value of the money, means whatever amount was printed on the coin of gold or silver, same amount of gold or same amount of silver was going to be contained in that coin. So the face value, printed value of the on the currency and the intrinsic, that is the value of the precious metal, was equal to each other. But in the modern form of money, we had started this paper currency, where the piece of paper was not, the value of the piece of paper was not equal to the amount of the face value or the printed value on the note, currency note or currency coin. The metal used in that coin was lesser, the value of that metal was lesser as compared to the face value of that coin or face value of that currency note. And therefore, an order was to be passed by the government. You may have seen that on every note it is written down, I promise to pay the bearer 500, the sum of 500 rupees, or maybe the sum of 200 rupees, whatever is printed on the currency note, and with the signature of the Governor of Reserve Bank of India, because Reserve Bank of India is having the sole authority to print this currency note. Now, this legal tender money is also having two different classes. Like, one is called as limited legal tender money and another one is called as unlimited legal tender money. What do we mean by limited legal tender money? These are those type of coins that we call as currency coins, and these currency coins are used to make payments, to discharge debts, whatever way. But this the coins which are used for making payments, according to the coinage bill passed in 2011, in August 2011, according to this coinage bill passed, the payment up to rupees 1000 can be made with these currency coins, not more than that. This is the limitation of the legal tender money, and therefore it is written that the credit may be refused. The creditor may refuse to accept payment beyond the sum of rupees 1000 if it is going to be made in coins, right? So this was limited legal tender. Another one in this same class of legal tender money is unlimited legal tender money. What do we mean by unlimited legal tender money? Unlimited legal tender money is that money, or directly speaking, currency notes, which can be used to make any type of payment, large payment, small payment, or any type of unlimited payment can be made, but only with the help of currency notes if it is going to be used. And these notes can be 200, 2000 rupees, 500 rupees, like this. And all the currency notes, unlimited, are going to be coming in the category of unlimited legal tender money, because these currency notes can be used to make payments to any type of unlimited amount. After this legal tender money, we move to another type of money which is called as non-legal tender money. So what do we mean by this non-legal tender money? This non-legal tender money is also called as fiduciary money or optional money. Why we call it as non-legal tender? We call it as non-legal tender because there is no order passed by the government that this particular type of money should be used by the different people or the public. This type of money is going to be used on the basis of trust, जिसको हम बोलते हैं विश्वास, trust, on the basis of trust. So this money is accepted on the basis of trust that the issuer of the money commands, and because this type of money is to be accepted on the basis of trust, so therefore it is called as fiduciary money. And this money includes instruments like that of drafts, checks, bills of exchange. Okay, you may have seen that whoever is going to open an account in the bank, when they deposit their money, they can also get this passbook with checkbook. These checks can be used to withdraw the money from their account, from their bank account, and this check can also be issued to complete some transactions in which purchasing is to be done, and the other person is going to accept this check on the trust that yes, the person who is going to purchase the commodity is having money in his account, and with this check the person who is going to give the commodity to the consumer can withdraw the money from the bank with the help of this check. So on the basis of trust. With this, bills of exchange also comes in this, in which, like for example, if say Mamta is going to purchase goods of 10,000 rupees from Jyoti, then this Mamta can get the bill of exchange that is from Jyoti, and whenever this bill of exchange is going to mature, maybe say for example Jyoti has taken the time of 3 months to make payment of the goods purchased equal to rupees 10,000, then after 3 months this bill of exchange will mature and Mamta can get this amount of money from the bank, right? And this is what is bill of exchange. So this also is going to be accepted. Bill of exchange is also going to be accepted only on the basis of trust, and that is why it is called as non-legal tender money, because there is no order of the government in this type of money. So this is what two type of categories, legal tender money and non-legal tender money, are coming in legal definitions of money. Now another type of definition of money involves functional definition of money. What do we mean by this functional definition of money? In functional definition, we include all those things which will be called as money, and only those things will be called as money that perform the following functions. These include about 4 functions of money here, and if you see, among them is the first one, unit of account. This is the unit of account, first type of function. If anything which is performing this first function, unit of account, will be called as money. Like for example, unit of account means whatever type of goods or services are produced, those goods and services value can be judged with money. Means everything which is produced is going to be valued in terms of money. That is unit of account of money. This is the function. And anything will be called as money if it is going to perform the second function also, that is the medium of exchange. And if you see here, whatever type of goods and services are going to be purchased, those goods and services are going to be exchanged with money. All the economic transactions are going to be completed with the help of money. That means if whatever type of service or good you are going to purchase, you are going to give money in place of that good or service, right? So therefore we say that money is the best medium of exchange. Anything which is going to perform this function also will be called as money. Then standard of deferred payments. Standard of deferred payments. If you see here that the standard of deferred payments means what? What happens is that in most of the times we are not going to make the payment immediately for some commodities. We don't make the payment immediately, and we want to make the payment in future in installments. So money solves this matter of payment in future, and therefore we say that deferred payments are the payments made in future. So money as a standard of deferred payments has facilitated market transactions like that of buying or selling or borrowing, right? So this function of standard of deferred payments is going to be performed by money, or whatever thing is going to fulfill this function will be called as money. With this, there is also another type of function, and that is called as store of value. And anything which is going to perform this function, store of value, will be taken to be as money. Like money occupies less space for storage in comparison with goods. Today we can store our money at any place, and in a very less space this money can be easily going to be stored. Like in barter system it was not possible. A person who was having, say, chairs, a carpenter, his wealth was chairs, whatever number of chairs he has produced. So to keep his wealth he needs some more space. Say if he is having 100 chairs, then where he is going to keep those chairs, 100 chairs? He needs space for it. But today, with the help of money, we need very less space and we can store the money also, our money. So this is also another function. If anything which is going to perform this fourth function also will be called as money. So let's see what are these things which should be taken into account of money and performing these four functions. So these are anything which is commonly accepted as a medium of payment is money, concerned with legal aspect only, and it implies what all things? Paper currency, currency notes, and also checkable deposits. Checkable deposits are just now only we have studied fiduciary money. These are the non-legal tender money which is to be used on the trust, on the basis of trust. Okay, so that all will also come in check, drafts, and bills of exchange, as we have studied. All these will come in the uh, definition of money, right? So all these things will be taken to be as money, which are fulfilling all these four different type of functions. So this is the functional definition of money.